Hey everybody, Puzzle Max here, and today I've got an unboxing, review, and hopefully solve of a new puzzle that's available through thecubicle.com here in North America. This one I'm really looking forward to. It's a really cool puzzle, so let me crack this bad boy open. Cubicle's a big fan of using these padded envelopes, which I don't mind. They tend to work pretty well and haven't had any issue with them before. So I'm fine with that. Especially because I'm on the East Coast and so are they, so things usually travel pretty quickly. This was something else I ordered, ignore that. But this is what I'm looking forward to reviewing. This is the new Hanoiminx from the Hanoiminx Joint Stock Company in Vietnam. These guys are mass producing this themselves, and currently the only people selling it in North America and the United States is thecubicle.com. I was really excited to get my hands on this when I first saw it, and it's just really cool looking. A little history on this. Dr. Mai Fu Sun, back in 2015, made the first prototype of this that he 3D printed and made it himself, and afterwards decided that he really liked the design and wanted to make it official. He couldn't find anyone that he trusted enough to do the molding and mass producing themselves. So he decided, screw it, I'm going to make my own company and do it myself. So that's what he's doing. First of all, the packaging here is incredible. I mean, nice display packaging. You could keep this on a shelf in the package if you wanted to. Take the plastic off and just use the package as a display. Would be very awesome. It's actually smaller than I expected. I'm not sure why. I just pictured it being a little larger. But I've seen TheCubicle just did a video on this about a week ago, so I know that it comes with extra stickers for some of the faces and things, which is always a good thing in case things mess up. But it's also got a full tutorial. So if you have issues solving it and are having a hard time with it, it'll help you out. They do use their own notation. It's a new notation, not your standard upright down front type of thing, so that might be a little difficult, but I imagine once you get your head wrapped around it, it flows pretty well. When I first saw this puzzle, it immediately gave me TheCubicle vibes. One of the key elements to this puzzle is that on these hexagon faces, you can't just make a single turn. So if I turn it like that, I can't turn any of these triangle faces legally, or any of the other adjacent hexagon faces. So these hexagon faces, you have to make double turns with. So you have to turn the triangle stuff to another triangle, much like on the TheCubicle, where you have to turn the hexagon faces to 2 turns so that on the TheCubicle, so that the pentagons match up. But here, these triangles you can make single turns with. So I think some of the TheCubicle's last layer type of things are going to play into the solve on this. It turns incredibly well out of the box, very smooth. Kind of almost too smooth in a couple spots because it does lock up there, but that's not a big deal. I mean, just pay attention to your turns, it's going to be fine. No issues with the stickers, one little bump here, but I've got extras, so I'm not too worried about it. And that's not even a big deal in itself. It'll probably lay down while I'm playing with it. These are rounded faces on these hexagon faces. So they did an amazing thing by cutting these stickers for these big inner triangles so that they lay flat and stay flat. If this was a solid piece, there was a good chance that it would bubble up on the edges and things like that. So bonus points to them for that. It's got the Mr. Mai Fu Sun. I'm sorry, I'm horrible at pronouncing people's names, especially Asian folks. I'm just never been good with that. It's just never done me well. But it's got his initials here, some cool logos, things like that. Now, the TheCubicle stuff that I was referring to is a pure 3 cycle for these corners. I believe if you make a few moves on these hexagon faces and then a single move on the triangle face, you can do a pure 3 cycle of a corner up here to a corner here and a corner here. So if you just do down, down, up, up, and then do this as your middle move, either direction, and then undo those first moves. So down, down, up, up, and then undo this. And just as I thought. So this corner that was here, the yellow, green, and blue, swapped down to here. The blue, pink, and green moved over to here. And the blue, yellow, and pink moved right up to here. So I don't think this is going to be a difficult solve, but I think it's going to be kind of thought-inducing. There's probably not going to be any weird parity situations or any hard cases, just kind of things you have to look at and figure out. This is available in 2 different versions. This is the regular Hanoiminx, where these centers are visible on the triangle faces. There's also a void-ish version called the free Hanoiminx, where these triangles have an opening here, just a gap, so there's no center. So you have to figure out what face goes where in order to place these outer edge pieces. But noticing just in looking at this, the green hexagon face is opposite the green triangle face, and so on and so forth. So even on the void version, this wouldn't be terribly difficult to figure out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Straight off, I think it's going to be a very, very fun solve, and it's a great looking puzzle. So it's going to look good just hanging out on a shelf and hanging out with all of my other interesting shape mods and shape variations. So let's scramble it up and see if I can figure this bad boy out. Like I said, the turning here is very smooth. Everything just kind of flows like it's supposed to. I haven't had any issues with anything there. And I don't think it's going to be hard to get a pretty sufficient scramble on this fairly quickly, just by making some random moves and getting things out of place. I'd imagine there's not too many things you can do. Once you start getting a scramble, it's going to start looking scrambled and staying that way. So as of right now, I have 0 complaints about this puzzle. It's very smooth, it's very solid, there's no give on any of these pieces. They all stay where you put them and hold very nicely. So that's always a bonus point. I love puzzles that don't have like just give and leeway and things like that. So after a quick scramble here, things do kind of fall back together. I've noticed that some of the pieces just kind of meet each other where you haven't done extra triangle moves and things like that. It is kind of easy, especially when you're not paying attention, to make these half moves. This set of pieces here is not supposed to be on a triangle face. And there's a little bit of give there, but I don't think that's going to turn enough to hurt anything before you catch it and realize, hey, that's not supposed to be there. So that's not a huge issue. I don't think that'll cause any problems. All right, so this looks pretty well scrambled. So let's see what happens here. Anytime there's edges involved, I want to solve those first. So I think the edges in between these hexagon faces are the first step here. Let's start with this one. I've already got the yellow and blue in place. So let's see about this blue and pink. Where's that? That's hiding down here. So let's see. If I move this up this way, it'll meet the pink. And then the pink can come across here, and then I can put that yellow and blue back. And now let's do the blue and green. All right, that's in place where it needs to be, but I'm guessing if I cycle it around the puzzle, then I can bring that back. And now it changed the orientation of it, just like I thought. And then I've got all 3 of those on the bottom head. Now I messed that up. So let's go down, down, up, up, and then back to here, down, down, up, up. There we go. Okay, so now I've got all these blue ones in the correct place. So there should be either a pure 3-cycle here, or I'm guessing you can end up with a case where 2 of these will be in the right spot, but flipped. So we'll see if we get that. Didn't come across that here. Or maybe I did. No, I didn't. So there. But I imagine if you come across that issue where you have 2 of these in the right place, but just rotated, oriented wrong, I'm guessing it's just a down, down, up, up type of thing, and then swap to this face, do the same thing, and then come back where you started and undo that. So yeah, just like I thought, it rotates that in place and rotates this in place. Puts this one back and didn't hurt anything down here. So that's an easy fix. Come over here. And once more. Okay, so all of those little edges are back in place. Now these almost give me, I don't know if it has a new name, but I knew it as the platypus. It was a weird kind of triangle puzzle with edges sticking up off of each side. And that's kind of what these give me vibes of. So I'm guessing these you just kind of got to flow into place. So this pink and blue needs to come up to the blue center. Turn it off, swap something new in. This green and blue is in the right place. So where's the blue and yellow? So if I come down here, swap in the blue and yellow. So all that blue is done. Now I've got green here. I've got these 2 in place. So the green and yellow is down here. So I can just bring this down. Pull that in, there we go, all of those edges are done. And the last 2 faces here, I'm going to try and get 2 done on one face. So let's see if I can get this pink and yellow taken care of. Cool, and now I should be able to have a pure 3-cycle here of some sort. So the yellow and green is correct, so I need to swap this yellow and pink with this yellow and blue, and then bring this pink and green up to the top here. So all the edges are done now. And now here's the case where you've got to start using that 3-cycle that I showed. So here I've got this pink, green, and yellow I can bring here, and in doing so I know I can swap this pink one that's already in place to its correct spot. So it goes down here. So if I bring this just over to here, and then down, down, up, up, and bring this in and undo that. Undo those original moves. Down, down, up, up. Undo my setup move up here. And let's see what we got here. All those are good. So now where's my other pink? My other pink one's here, so I got to use this. This is blue, yellow, and pink, so that can go here. This is a really cool solve so far because you can... It's quick, but you still have to do some thinking in order to get stuff to move where you want it to come from and where you want it to go. So it's not a difficult solve so far. I don't think there's any last-minute crazy issues or anything that are going to pop up. So here I just want to get a 3rd one on this blue face correct. So let's see. It doesn't matter which one of these I take. So let's take the blue and pink here. Alright, definitely a fun, casual solve, and because of the turning on this puzzle, it makes it a lot of fun. Just there's no extra work involved trying to align faces and keep stuff from bandaging or anything like that. It works well. Alright, so now we've got 2 of these yellow corners, 1 to go. Let's fix one of these green corners, so I don't care which one goes where. This one needs to go here, so let's do that. And swap this in, and then down, down, up, up. Alrighty, in the final cycle here, this should be a pure 3-cycle. So this green, yellow, and blue is going to go here. This green, blue and pink will come here, and this yellow, green, and pink will come up to where it belongs. And move that, undo all of those, and there you go. So, final thoughts here. It's a little pricey, I will admit. It's the reason I got this one and didn't get both, because I didn't have the spare cash to get the free one as well with the void type faces. But this one is very solid. I recommend it. I imagine from the video I saw by TheCubicle that the void one is probably just as stable. So get whichever one you want. They're both cool looking. And the solve is very simple, but still you got to think about it a little bit. So I definitely recommend this. It's a fun puzzle, and it's a great looking puzzle, which is always a bonus. So hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll help you out as best I can. And big thanks to TheCubicle for picking this puzzle up and being able to sell it to as many people as are interested. So enjoy, and happy solving.